Look at this. It's probably not even the whole thing, for sure.
All the shoes are up there.
Yeah, this is because we had ran out of room, huh?
Stairway to heaven. The very first men's physique Olympia ever, the very first one, which was 2013. This right here is 2014. I didn't do 2015, and this is 2016. This was an awesome present that Megan's parents gave me for Christmas. Totally caught me by surprise, and something that I can hold on to forever. So. I remember going out to the warehouse for the first time, but it was just a small project at that time. I mean,
you came through
with Rob Ortiz.
Yeah. We shot you in that green fence.
Yeah, exactly. Baggy ass jeans and shit.
This was wearing white chugging with some baggy jeans.
Yeah.
I still have that picture.
Like a little, our little jersey tank, so it stays black, it's very durable, you can wash it a million times, it still looks brand new. So we have this in black and in a red, but this is the last color piece that we're gonna have.
Right, black and white.
Black, white, and gray. So these two, and this is the white and gray one that we have. So we have those. This is probably my favorite one right here. Because it's like the gray blended in with the white, kind of a soft transition. That one there, and then a lot of people like this one also. This one's been popular. Everything that we put out are gonna be pieces that I would actually wear myself. There will be nothing that I put out that I don't like myself, that I'm not feeling. So very custom, very personal. It's coming with 100% of my style. So I've been personal training for about 7 years at this point. Before I started personal training, I worked a corporate job. I worked at Symantec and Veritas for about 5 years, which was crucial to my success in personal training, because there in the corporate system, I was able to pick up business etiquette and customer service etiquette. So I understood how to deal with people on a professional level. And I brought that into my personal training, and I think that's what actually revolutionized my personal training and set me aside from other personal trainers. The first and only gym that I've ever trained out of was Ray's Built Tough Gym, a small personal training facility off of Bascom in San Jose, and that was my very first experience with personal training. I started there, and I'm still there as of today, at this point, I've kind of outgrown the gym, and I'm moving over to Westca, which is my own facility in downtown San Jose. The very first sport that I was involved with was BMX bike riding, and I started BMX bike riding when I was 6 years old. I raced over at Moffett Field, PAL. I was in the ABA, which is the American Bike Association. And I took that until I was about 10 years old. At 10, I started playing football and baseball. Baseball was my next big love. And I played baseball. I made it to the all-star team for my league several years. I kind of excelled in baseball. And then I got into skateboarding. I started skating with a lot of the local crew over here, the Tilt Mode crew. From skateboarding, I went into breakdancing. I did breakdancing for a while. I was a member of San Jose's finest Jughead Tribe, which is a very popular group here in San Jose. That was a big part of my growth in general. And from breakdancing, I found the love for basketball. I always played basketball on and off, but I really kind of buckled down and got serious with basketball my freshman year. That's when I realized Actually, that's also when my grades got better. I kind of bullshitted or kind of took academics for granted when I was in middle school. And then once I got to high school, I knew for sure that basketball was what I wanted to do, and I wanted to get a scholarship. Come my junior year, I ended up signing a full basketball scholarship with UC Santa Barbara. I was recruited from Santa Clara University, University of San Diego, George Mason, and several other like mid-major Division I schools, but I chose UC Santa Barbara. And it was an amazing time out in Santa Barbara. I only ended up playing basketball for 2 years there, but I went to school there for 5 years. And that was kind of my segue into bodybuilding. At UC Santa Barbara, we had a power and strength weightlifting coach who kind of taught us the basics about fundamentals of bodybuilding. I started incorporating strength training before playing basketball. And I just kind of found a passion and a love for strength training, not to compete, pretty much so I can look good in my clothes. I mean, that's very superficial, but the main motivation behind me weightlifting when I started was to kind of fill out my shirts. At Raised Built Tough Gym, there's a bunch of bodybuilders that train and work there. And one guy in particular, Mark Byers, forced me to do a show. I mean, I had absolutely no interest in competing in bodybuilding. I was more of an athlete. My workouts at that time consisted of like plyometric type exercises, TRX type of stuff. I wasn't remotely interested in bodybuilding, but some of the guys there saw potential in me, and Mark Byers actually entered me into the San Jose show in 2012, NPC San Jose show 2012. Long story short, that Friday night he called and he entered me into the show and he booked a tanning appointment for me. Now, I was planning on waking up in the morning. My tanning appointment was at 6 a.m. I was planning on waking up, calling and canceling the tanning appointment and just never competing. But they ended up calling me first to confirm that I was coming in, and that's when I knew that it was real. That's when I knew I was gonna compete. So I went to my tanning appointment. I met a guy named Matt Dubois, IFBB Pro, and he gave me my posing instruction at 6:30 a.m. the day of the show. I ended up doing the show, completely embarrassed myself. I was like a deer in the headlights on stage, the first time I'd ever been on stage with my shirt off. I had absolutely no idea what I was doing, but it was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. I didn't do well in that particular show. I placed 8th. I was embarrassed. I kind of snuck out of the back of the auditorium, but that led me to find Omar Ventura, who was a very popular coach in the area at the time. And I remember his team backstage reminded me of, like, if for anyone that's seen the Karate Kid movie, his team was like, they were like the bad boys. Like, everyone was in black. There was Rob Ortiz, there was Cameron Bailey, there was Grizz, George, and a bunch of other people, and they all did well in that show, and I wanted to be a part of that team. So I reached out to Omar, and there was another show coming up about 2 months later, which was the San Francisco show. And I worked with Omar for that show, and I ended up taking the best overall at that show, which completely blew my mind. I had to ask Omar after the show if he knew the judges, and he helped me win the show because I couldn't believe that I actually went from placing 8th in one show to taking like first out of 70 some odd guys at this particular show. So I did that show. 2 months after that was a national show in Atlanta.
What's up, Tory? We're here in Atlanta. I'm Omar Ventura, your coach. We just got done with nationals. Is there anything you'd like to say?
I'd just like to say thanks to you, Omar, for bringing me on this journey, and making me a part of your team, and the special culture that you created in San Jose. I'm now Tory Woodward, IFBB Pro, and I just really appreciate everything that you've done for me, and I'm looking forward to working with you in the future, man. Let's keep it going.
Right on.
And I went to nationals with absolutely zero expectations. If I would have placed top 20, I would have been super happy and stoked. I just wanted to be a part of this whole NPC, this new thing that was going on in the fitness industry. I wanted to be a part of it. So I had no expectations, and I ended up taking second place and turning pro that day, which was an amazing experience. I still have vivid memories of it. And then from there, the very next show after that was my very first pro show in LA, and that's where I met Randall. I met Randall backstage. We were both competing, and we kind of synced up, talked about some fashion and you know, fitness to kind of settle the nerves before going on stage. And we just totally linked up and synced and connected. And from there, about 2 weeks later, I was on the Live Fit team. And it's been a hell of a ride ever since then. Got hooked up with the Live Fit team, which has been revolutionary with my growth in the fitness industry. And the very next show I did after the LA show was the Tampa Pro. I took first place and I made it to Olympia. So I think what I take from this is, like, the harder you work, the luckier you get. I put myself in the position to, you know, to meet the right people through the efforts that I put forth leading up to those shows. So yeah, here we are now. So a lot of people mistake Westca, W-E-S-T-C-A, for West CA. The name is Westca, and that's short for West Coast Aesthetics. West Coast Aesthetics pretty much encompasses everything I'm about, which is super California, super aesthetic, whether it's with your fashion or, you know, whether you just kind of like to kick back and enjoy the California lifestyle, palm trees, beaches, good weather, good vibe. Westca incorporates all of that.
What's going on? Are you in town?
Yeah, Randall's in town right now. We're doing a documentary on the opening of Westca, but we had to dig deep and go way back into, you know, how it started, the foundation. So of course you came up in that conversation, and you know, you were instrumental and vital to my success in the industry. So he just kind of wanted to touch on that and to kind of get what you had to say about it.
How far is your work, Omar?
To where though?
Are you in downtown San Jose? Oh, you're by the airport.
It'd be dope if you guys came by. You guys inspire a lot of people here.
Okay. Well,
it'd be good. It'd be cool to see.
it's like 5 minutes away.
Yeah, because if we do it, we can stop by real quick and just do, like, knock it out in like 30 minutes, and then, you know, we'll just get out of your hair. But it'll be, yeah. I think it'd be dope, dude.
Dude, send me your address, and then I'll let you know what time we're gonna come through.
Okay, for sure.
Okay, cool. Good looking out. All right. None of the gyms in the area really encompass everything that I feel a gym should have. And also, we're moving into a new age where social media is very important to, you know, athlete success. So the gyms around here, it's illegal to use a camera. You can't take pictures. You can't shoot video. And I feel like, you know, San Jose is missing like a mecca, a type of gym where people can go promote their social media, feel inspired, have other people that are, you know, in the same game as them, you know, pushing and motivating each other. It's in a really cool atmosphere with skylights, brick, wood, so it has an industrial type of a feel. But at the same time, it is very contemporary, cutting edge.
I know something else super cool about Tory that he'll be super embarrassed about. He speaks Japanese, and he can read it and write it. He'll tell you that he can't and that he doesn't know anymore, but if he meets a Japanese person, he can have a full-on conversation with them.
I'll have to give you some cars. Yeah, pass them out to your network.
There you go, we'll do.
All right, Gerard, good to see you, man.
I'll see you later.
You mean the little parking lot right here? Oh yeah, this little, okay.
Okay, yeah.
So we're turning into that right now.
I competed in 2001, and I was coached by this local bodybuilder who owned his own supplement shop. And much credit to him, he taught me a lot. He also taught me what not to do. He taught me strict dieting, lots of cardio. The blander the food, the better the results. I still believe that till today. One thing he didn't teach me was that each athlete that you ever take on never has limits, you know, because my coach wasn't a pro, and he always told me, I'm coaching you. When I go pro, you're gonna go pro. When I become Mr. California, you're gonna become Mr. California. He always put me below where he was. With me, I don't look at it like that. That's like Bruce Lee's instructor or his trainer, his teacher, his mentor. Bruce Lee surpassed, I believe, where he was, and I thought the same thing. As a coach, you're a leader, well then lead, then teach better, teach more than what you were taught. And that's what I believe I did. During that time, I went out to the Olympia with my own resume and my own pictures. This was back in 2001, 2002. I went to the Olympia Expo, which was tiny. I handed out my resume and pictures to Nutrix, Optimum Nutrition, Muscle Tech. I gave it to six companies back then, which were big, right? And I didn't even know how to use email back then. So I just waited, and next thing you know, I looked at my email and I had 2 responses from Optimum Nutrition and Nutrix. But during that time, once you compete, people ask you, how do you get so ripped, and what do you eat, and how much cardio do you work out, all this, and then people start asking you questions, and you try to give them as much feedback as possible. You try to give them as much information as possible to obtain a certain look. So people started wanting to hire me as a coach, and I started helping this person and this person. That person started competing, that person started competing, that person won, that person won. But in total, I would say 30 men's physique pros.
And I just appreciate this whole team. The team is growing, and the energy is awesome. So Omar, thank you.
He texted me, I believe. He texted me, and we agreed to meet up at Santana Row at Club 1, or Club Sport at the time. And we finally met. He contacted me regarding posing. And we finally met. I had him peel off. He was shy. He's like, no, I don't want to do this. And I was like, well, you know, if you want me to help you, I need to see what you got so far. And right off the bat, I just had him do certain poses to present himself well. As far as watching him progress, it's nerve-wracking as a coach to take an athlete to each and every show. I can recall my first athlete back in 2011, and then meeting up with Tory. I took him to the San Francisco show, I believe, and I didn't know what the hell was going to happen. I just know what I needed to do, and I knew what he needed to do, and he did it, and he won the overall. I guess he went from 11th or 8th in his first show to wanting to quit, to going into this show with full confidence and winning the whole thing. And it was awesome. And I believe and I know that it's because of guys like Tory and Johnny Sebastian that Team Ventura's posing is at another level. It's at the highest level because of practice. And these guys practice their asses off. And I commend them every time because they set the bar so high. A lot of people are chasing it, and not many people will get there.
So this is the front entrance. You're gonna walk in through the front entrance, and directly in front of you You're going to have a custom desk being built right here.
Yep, that's what it takes. You want to be an entrepreneur, you better be ready for all this stuff. Late nights, sleepless nights, you know, months and months and years of work, all this stuff, you know, built up for stuff like this.
There seems to be no end in sight, but the harder you work, the more doors start to open. And everything wasn't laid out for us. Doors started to open and the puzzle started to come together just as we continue to work and move forward. So you're not going to be able to see everything mapped out when you start, but as long as you keep rolling, things will fall into place.
He was actually the original athlete to be put on Live Fit, the first physique pro, the first IFBB pro. And I put him on because, obviously because of his looks and what he's done in the industry as far as making a killing and just killing show after show. His work ethic and just the way he presents himself. It's just something about him, like when you speak with him, he's a very nice, put together person. Everything he says, he does, the way he acts, the way he interacts with people, I don't know, everything is smooth with the guy, if that makes sense. But as far as me seeing him being an athlete and being an entrepreneur, the way I pick my athletes is I'm picking people that can grow themselves, you know, and that's what I look for in the people as well, is not just being an asset to Live Fit Apparel, but being an asset to themselves so that they can grow on their own. And I'm just there to put my 2 cents and input from my experiences to make sure he succeeds. And he always had it in him as far as the whole business sense of it, because with personal training and that field of business, you're already an entrepreneur. So, you know, you're already putting yourself out there on social media. You're already marketing your self-image as a business. So with that being said, all the business side, marketing side is already instilled in Tory. So opening up Westca is just like a way to brand his thing that he's doing in the industry. He already made history as being one of the first men's physique Olympians ever to step on stage. You know, they only released that category, I think 4 years ago, and he was the first one. You know, I think he placed top 10 and, you know, just made history. So he already built a recognition and put a mark for himself. So everything was already branded and ready for him to open up Westca. You know, it already, so when you have a brand, that's a huge thing about marketing too as well. You got to have like a story behind your brand. And now Westca has a story. You know, Tory has done a lot of what we call dirt and stuff, you know, his work he's put in and all that stuff. And so now when he's opening up the gym, there's a cool story behind it. It's not like some stranger just took a bunch of money and decided to open up a gym. No, it's Tory. He has a story behind him. He came from the IFBB. He's a first-time Olympian. He came from breakdancing, basketball, personal training, you know, like it all ties into this. I see a lot of people are getting concerned, like with Heidi starting her own clothing line, Tory's doing his own thing, and more power to them. My thing is, I'm always trying to help these guys. I'm hitting Heidi up, I'm calling Tory, like, hey, if you guys need anything, any plug, any connections, hit me up. Like I said before, I want these guys to grow. The more everybody grows, the more we all grow together, you know, and I see it a lot in the industry right now where a lot of people are just kind of closed-minded, and I think that's just a really immature way of thinking, because in the grand scheme of things, like I said, everybody's winning. If Tory needs a plug for shirts or whatever, printers, input on this, I'm gonna tell him, you know, because I want him to not make the mistakes I made and just have all the success, you know. At the end of the day, it's gonna come back too, you know. You only mess with people that are good to each other, it's gonna come back to you, and that's, I strongly believe in that. So whether it be with Katie doing her ebook, Randy doing her ebook, Heidi doing her clothing line, her ebooks and stuff like that, Sean doing his thing, Fam doing his thing, Tory, everybody's growing. Alicia doing her thing, like everybody's growing. I want everyone to grow.